Now let's start with these exercises. How significant are they, Yuan, and particularly this year, given that there's more countries participating and observing?
Well, timing-wise, it is an exciting moment since we watch closely about the progress this region faces as the rivalry between China and United States grow even, intense. So the timing-wise, I think it attracts a lot of attention worldwide, and also it coincides with the forthcoming presidential election of the United States. That's a purely coincidence. But and yet the story is not new at all. The project began earlier, since 2006. I think the United States already established a certain, establishment about the urgent need for the world to attract and working together to address the issue. Last year makes another important steps. So this year has only culminated the efforts that have been made in the past to attract attention, and that along about the first line of interaction between China along with its neighboring country, including in particular with the Philippines. I think even attracted more attention. So geographically speaking, while Indonesia is located in the region, it faced a similar daunting challenge along with the South China Sea issues and also on other important development. So that make the joint efforts to coping with this issue more cohesively.
Mm-hmm. And Charles, China has criticized this exercise as, all these countries coming together. It sees these expanded drills as a threat, that the US is almost trying to create a NATO of the Indo-Pacific, as it were. Is China justified in worrying about this?
Because, that China is a major trading partner for most of the ASEAN's members. And also ASEAN members really care about the trading opportunity with China. However, we will know that the South China Sea issues and also, even Indonesia, they have overlapped some, island issues in the North Natuna Sea with China. So this kind of love and hate scenario also can apply to Indonesia. So this time, I think Indonesia not only do the military drill with United States, they also have this kind of military exercises with China. I think this very important lesson and also strategy we know for most of the ASEAN countries, they want to do this what we call the hedging, or we call the neutrality, or we call it the non-alignment movement. So I think Indonesia is the same case when we study the Southeast Asian countries. They want to try to omni-enmeshment, what we call omni-enmeshment, trying to bring in the great power into the regions. If you want to get involved with ASEAN members, you are welcome.
So as you mentioned there, Indonesia and China, they're going to be doing some exercises on a much smaller scale, restarting exercises next year. You say it's about Indonesia hedging because the tensions in the South China Sea have concerned Indonesia as well, with China increasingly going closer to various waters that are disputed. Now, what's in it for China if China restarts these exercises with Indonesia in 2025? Why does China want to do this?
I think one needs to take into account of the ASEAN as a whole, all right? Since there's a collective effort, more institutional-based pattern of interaction between the ASEAN state and China, okay? So this is on the regional collective level, and lower to that on the bilateral one. So we could discern a pattern of interaction of the past, the practice, the China deal ASEAN as a whole, and also China deal ASEAN member on a bilateral basis. So overall patterns suggest there's a consistent, coherent pattern of interaction between the two capitals, various capitals, In the case of China and Indonesia, I think they have been already, make some progress as early as 2005, followed by the 2013, 2021, and 2022, a sequence of interactions leading to today's development. So this is something like a small breakthroughs. So the China wish to push even further, okay, to enhance the quality of interaction of the two states. So they gather together to two ministers level representative to address to one another on a regular basis. Case in point, well, this is a step-by-step practice by the Chinese initiative to respond that. I think Indonesia, demonstrated as an individual states and also as a member of our ASEAN states to coping with this overall, concern.
Well, also it's often considered the de facto leader of ASEAN in some quarters. I mean, is this why could restarting these military exercises with Indonesia help increase China's influence in ASEAN? Is that what it's all about, do you think, Charles?
Yeah, we know Indonesia is a major actor in ASEAN, okay, by population, by lands, by their economic size. This is why, from the China side, Indonesia is very important for China, okay? Because they are also, I mentioned that, major trading partners. For 2023, the total trade from China to Indonesia is about 140 billions, okay? It's a little bit less than Vietnam. Vietnam is about 200 billions. But Indonesia is 140 billions, the trade amounts between these two countries. And also, there are several projects sponsored by China. For example, we know that this Rampant Eco City project sponsored by China. And also, China helped Indonesia to build the first high-speed railroad, the KCJB. So this kind of we call embed and strengthen economic cooperation between these two countries, make their bilateral relations more kind of stabilized. However, like I mentioned that, there's still some issues between these two countries. For example, the North Natuna Sea. So the new president's Prabowo administration, when Prabowo, he ran the elections, he also mentioned the importance and the critical points on North Natuna Sea, okay? How far he will go on these issues, how far he will use the North Natuna Sea as a bargaining chip with China, we don't know that. But we know that China really pay attention to this area because China doesn't want to another front line on the South China Sea. Right now, China needs to handle the Sandy Cay, second Scottsboro Shoal, and second Thomas Shoal issues with Philippines. And Beijing they don't want to drag another major power into the South China Sea and make this area even worse.